It's begun. It was only a couple of days ago that warnings came out. Next 60 days, there could be a massive collapse in the global banking system, and it is already now beginning. The second largest banking collapse in U.S. history is currently underway. My humble advice, even if you have to leave work, right now I would stop what you're doing, including watching this video. Go get gas. Go make sure you can get as many groceries as you can in the house and whatever else you need to get, including cash. Because while I don't think you're going to see banks shut down completely, I think they're going to start to restrict deposits. They're going to start to restrict withdrawals. They're going to start tracking everything in a way that they've never tracked it before. Because SVB Financial, Silicon Valley Bank, is in receivership right now. That's how fast this happened. Their stock collapsed in one day, and they collapsed the next. It is over for them. This is a huge story, and they're not even talking about this on Fox News. Don't believe me. This is the front page. Joe Manchin, transgender student, high school cheer coach, Gisele Bundchen, far left Dem. I mean, just ridiculous stuff. Murdaugh. I don't even know who Murdaugh was. Second largest banking collapse in U.S. history, and it's not even being covered by Fox. They are hiding this from you. They are doing what they can. I know Lisa Haven has this. I know a couple of others have this. It wasn't truly going to be the original topic of today's video. We were going to talk about something kind of tangentially associated with it. I'm sure a lot of you are scratching your heads. Well, that's Vince Gill from so many years ago playing guitar. What does that have to do with our current financial state? Well, he said something a long time ago that I think now is starting to come true. Those chickens are coming home to roost, those capitalist chickens. You see, you wouldn't think that someone who's done as well as Vince Gill has done would be against capitalism, but it actually ripped him off in a way that's completely criminal. But that and some other things we're going to talk about today that are tied to it. But heads up, everyone who's over at Patreon right now, next 24 to 36 hours, keep your eyes open. We're going to have a brand new video posted either later tonight, possibly, or for sure by tomorrow. A brand new video, and it might be the most R-rated one yet. I know that bothers a lot of people, but that's what you can do when you part with Vimeo. You can take the gloves off, and you can talk about things in ways that most North Americans aren't used to talking about them. Most North Americans are very used to having to self-censor, especially here on these platforms. And we have to abide by those rules here too. I really do appreciate everyone who shows up at the Florida Machia YouTube channel, but we have to be on, of course, our best behavior and pretend we're basically back in high school again. That's the biggest psyop of all, but this is a hint about what's coming for the Patreon video, about what might start to occur, and this huge revelation about the real difference between men and women and how they see the world and what's going on. So I will leave that there because I don't want to spoil it. For those of you who want to sign up over at Patreon, real simple, $1, that's it, a singular US dollar per month, even less if you sign up for an entire year. It's like 3 pennies a day. It's the lowest allowable level. And trust me, this next video you're going to want to see for sure because it's going to open a lot of eyes. Now, what if I told you Vince Gill, popular country artist, even was in a pop band years ago, Pure Prairie League. Vince Gill, Prince, Garth Brooks, and the Eagles all have something in common. They are all what you would call, perhaps, evil, terrible, horrible socialists. Now, Prince, rest his soul, probably made the largest noise about how the internet robbed him of so much income. Even as successful as he was absolutely stolen from and taken advantage of in a way that I don't think it can ever be recompensed. And this platform that we're talking on right now is primarily responsible for it. Of all of the platforms, he hated this one the most. So does Vince Gill, so do the Eagles and Garth Brooks. They take active measures and have armies of lawyers watching YouTube. And any of their content shows up here for free, they immediately, I mean literally within seconds, have people protesting it, writing into YouTube and having it taken down. But without that, it's all, you can write a song, and if you're dumb enough to put it on YouTube, forget it. You've lost copies. Somebody's going to rework it a little bit, and they're going to go make a bunch of money off of it. Full disclosure, this happened to me. Some have said, Florida Monkey, we've heard you play guitar and sing here on YouTube. In fact, that's how you started your channel. Why didn't you continue doing that? Got a bad taste in my mouth from Nashville in the music business. Because they are capitalists, and they will take and they will steal, and there is no morality involved. Why? It's something called fiduciary duty. Now, some people might not think that's connected, but we're going to cover that at Patreon too. You see, those people have a fiduciary duty to go out and steal whatever they can steal so they can make and maximize the profits for their investors. And if they can get away with stealing it, they'll get away with stealing it. Vince Gill was quoted as saying back in 2012, a Pittsburgh newspaper, the Gazette, I believe, the devaluation of music and what it's now deemed to be worth is laughable to me. Now, this was, like I said, 11 years ago. My single costs 99 cents. That's what a single cost in 1960. On my phone, I can get an app for 99 cents that makes fart noises, the same price as the thing I create and speak to the world with. Some would say the fart app is more important. It's an awkward time. Creative brains are being sorely mistreated. Well, since that time, back in 2012, it's gotten nothing but worse. Nothing but worse. I don't know how, I do know how they've morphed it now. You see, it's no longer about the music or about the singing or about the talent or the lyrics. It's about how you look when you're playing the guitar. That's why you see all of these hard bodies with the six packs and the jaw lines and the perfect teeth. All of these clones in country music. See, nobody cares, because they're just talking about, we're in the truck and we're both hot and, and yeehaw, we're going to go get laid and get drunk and drink whiskey and all this kind of stuff. That's all that has to be sung about. Why? Because the music has become visual. Some people have said, Florida Monkey, why do you aim a computer screen at a smartphone at a computer screen? I'm like, why do people aim cameras at their own faces? Is what they're saying about their face? No. But that's what the platform is all about. It's a visual platform. And that's what YouTube does. You watch what happens to young folks, those who enjoy Chris Stapleton. And I challenge you to do this. Go out and tell them that his song Was It 26 isn't his. That it was originally done by Charlie Daniels. Or his song Tennessee Whiskey wasn't his. It was done by George Jones. And then try to see if they would enjoy the song sung by Charlie Daniels or the song sung by George Jones. They won't. See, because it has to be Chris Stapleton visual with Tennessee Whiskey for them to enjoy it. But it's all collapsing. It's all collapsing now. All the thievery is catching up. And this is going to be a question a lot of people ask themselves. If you want to know why Fox News isn't covering this, it's because they're going to have a lot of questions to answer about their capitalism versus socialism thing. Truly. If you'd like to read more about this issue with the music business, I know it's not super important to everyone, but this is Steve Lawson who tries to take issue with what Vince Gill said about the cost of production in 1960 of creating vinyl. Well, he's right about that of that 99 cents, a lot of that went into production cost. And the artist didn't get a whole 99 cents for that. They, of course, got a percentage. But now, with the advent of the internet, you can get out so many more listens and so many more ears on your music that you don't get paid for. And especially when it's people that have no license to use your music. Joni Mitchell was another one that talked about this. She gave up music. Gave it up completely and said, I'm going to paint. Because the internet can't really steal that as easily as they can steal music. And here's why Prince hated Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, Apple Music, Deezer, and Rdio from back in 2016. If you're a writer, if you're an artist, if you want to do music and you want to even make a modest living, it's impossible now. 20 years ago, maybe. 2003, yeah, that still would have been kind of the end. The 90s was the golden age. You could have done better as a recording artist in the 90s than you could now. Back when you had to go and, pay your 99 cents and, and get your iPod full of your music. Artists were doing better back then than they're doing now, simply because of fiduciary duty. Imagine if you could, you walk into a grocery store or a shopping mall, or you're in an elevator, and all of a sudden you hear your own voice. You hear your own voice singing, and you realize you're not getting a dime for it. Let Me Love You Tonight is one of those Muzak kind of songs where it's, it's elevator music from back in the 70s. And it would drive anyone insane to hear themselves singing and playing guitar and realizing, in a public forum like that, and realize you're not making a dime. You're not making one dime from that. And all that music is now making someone else a bunch of money because it got part of a catalog and then it was sold, resold, and repackaged as part of other catalogs. This is all capitalism. This is what capitalism does. Capitalism is stealing. I'm just going to go out and say it. Capitalism is stealing, basically, and everyone is seeing it right now. People talk about, inflation is theft. Agreed. But inflation is a necessary part of capitalism. There is no such thing as capitalism that exists outside of inflation. And if inflation is theft, guess what? That's what you're partaking in and promoting. See, there's a lot of scriptures, and I'll leave it, with this before I make too many people angry. Do unto others as you would have them do unto yourself. Be ye not conformed unto this world. The golden rule. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Sounds a whole lot more like socialism to me than what capitalism is. Serve mammon. You see, serving mammon, the god of this world, the god of gold, and idols, sounds a lot more like capitalism than socialism to me. So if I've got to err on one side or the other, trying to be my very best, imperfectly and fallen, trying to be the very best Christian I can. If I've got to err in one direction or another, I'm not going to err on the side of being a really good capitalist. I'm going to err on the side of being perhaps more socially oriented. So I will leave it there. But like I said, get ready. Strap it on. It is starting now. The second largest banking collapse in U.S. history just happened. 8 March 2023. God bless. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.